Good morning. I will call to order the December 14th Tourism and Arts Commission meeting. And bear with me as lack of sleep. Public comment.
So we're gonna amend the agenda.
Oh, yes. Oh, that's right.
Yep.
We're gonna add,
Yeah.
Tim, sorry, see, this is gonna be rough. We're gonna add Tim to the agenda for a financial update. And we will add him, in front of the lifeguard tower after the approval of minutes, so. Any other public comment before we start? Okay, let's move on. Approval of the minutes from November 17th. Did anyone have any adjustments to those? Short and sweet for the most, I think.
I did not.
Do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Do I have a second? Okay, let's vote in favor of approving for November 17th minutes. Those in favor? Aye. Those opposed? Okay. So approved. Okay, Tim.
All right. Okay, so Jen asked me to give a quick financial update with regards to the TAP fund, so I'll pass that out here. So what I did was essentially run the actual, so we have the first quarter of TRTs, our beginning fund balance where we started the year. And then expenditures so far. No, copy on fresh copy. So we did start the year a little higher than we originally budgeted. So our beginning fund balance actually was basically 1.1 million. Through the first quarter, so that would be the time period of July 1 through September 30th. We received about 247,000 in TRT. And then also effective basically midway last year, all funds that have balances receive interest income. So so far through the 12th, the Friday, the fund has received about $16,000 in interest income. We had budgeted our TAP award at $524,000. We also put a line item in there. Usually it's about $538,000 for tourism purposes. So that gives you guys the opportunity to approve projects throughout the year. And there's a transfer to the general fund for $100,000, and that is for the HRAP, or part of the HRAP program. No, I'm sorry, part of the public restrooms for ongoing. So what we've spent so far in our TAP awards is $91,000. Again, through the first quarter, we have awarded about $228,000, and there's also another $14,000, and that's for the dancing fishermen, the bronzing. So right now, our ending fund is about $1.1 million. So with that, I'm open to any questions.
How long have we been doing the transfer to the general fund?
This is the first. year.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, this is the first year.
Okay. And then E-Trap is coming not from us, but from the other.
HRAP is
TRT?
coming from the county TRT
Okay.
funds. So, the county TRT funds pays for the debt service on the CBE and for, a couple $100,000 in track funding.
Okay.
The general fund is to help maintenance on the restrooms. Was that a 1 year approval? Is that gonna be requested every year?
We would request it every year. It would be, we'd look at being ongoing. For maintenance of your purchase.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
Yeah, so last year you spent $5.5 million roughly, to refurbish the one over off of Gower.
Yeah. I just wasn't aware of the general or maintenance to the general, so. I this goes back to the bigger picture too, of when stuff like that happens, how do we disseminate? I mean, we're getting it now, but at the point of deference or approval or whatever, I guess that's where I'm like, cause if we're looking at this pot, I just wanna make sure we have a bigger, I mean, that's part of this process, but
I'm sorry.
yeah, no, go ahead.
I'm kind of sitting here, did we vote on that? I mean, like, when did this happen?
We did come to you guys last year.
Yeah, okay, we just don't remember.
I remember,
For requested, they
Okay.
asked for a third, $300,000 total, and they asked if we would cover a third of that, 1,000, which we approved.
okay.
Yeah.
I remember, I
Trust me, I would not just take.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I remember discussion of maintenance, but yes, okay. I didn't correlate a dollar figure. Okay, perfect, the dancing fishermen are in there. And I guess my only question is, I know we earmark around the 523 for the CAF award. We haven't been spending that amount recently, I'm just trying to think, and then we have the right to put it, I mean, it goes back in the general pool.
Yeah, it would, so if you don't spend the money, so let's say, up above, actually, TRTs is relatively flat right now, but let's say we receive all of that money.
Yeah.
And you only spend the 220 plus it. Everything else, the difference there falls to the ending fund balance, so that very bottom, it says 1.1 million right now.
Yeah,
That will only go up.
okay,
It'll never leave your account.
yeah,
It never goes, it's always in that,
in that,
yeah.
and if there's not like a certain period of time, like say for instance, we end up spending a large chunk that happens to go above and beyond what the tourism is, can we like, within a week decide, I mean, does the money have to sit in that TAF award earmarked for the full fiscal year?
So are you asking like if you could apply it to something else?
Yes.
Yes, you could apply it to something. Yeah, so really from a legal appropriation
Yes.
standpoint, the legal appropriation is $1.2 million.
Okay.
So that's the authority to spend.
Okay,
So if you
but
wish to
within
move-
that, there's leeway.
Yeah, so if you wish to move it above the larger TAF award or there's some other large tourism project or something like that, then you as a board.
Okay. Any other questions? I appreciate the big picture sometimes. When you're in the weeds, you're like, what's it look like? I think this gives us a great idea. Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. Anytime you guys have any questions, please feel free to contact me. I'll be happy to walk through it. And I guess we'll be coming back to you again in the spring for a similar request with regards to the rest of them.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
So, if you just text your phone away.
Oh, perfect. Alright. Okay. What is that?
He said to come back in the spring regarding that.
Getting maintenance approval. Again,
Oh, restroom, okay.
restroom, yeah. Sorry, just make sure we are, okay, item number 3, lifeguard tower, good morning.
Morning.
How are you?
Good.
Good, thank you for your inclusion of information in the packet. Was trying to think, this next meeting, if after we gather information, is when the attorney.
So no, I have some information from the
Okay.
attorney regarding this situation. You want me to kind of share that now?
Or
Sure.
is that okay?
Okay,
Kind of,
I'm paraphrasing because it's a legal document, so it's protected
So you have to leave.
I had to be ready to go. Right here, so the concern they have is about if this is real property. Because real property typically is permanently attached to the land and moving the towers kind of leaves that arguments. So that was one of their big concern about using the real property statute, portion of that. She said that it could be used as a tourism aspect. So the other side of it, then there are some risks that could manifest. It's just kind of one of those unknown situations. I think about, like the first time somebody used to pour restrooms, there's always that person, that entity that tries something new, you see it gets challenged, and when they don't get challenged, everyone else does it. So this is one of those items where there could be some, we're not sure how much. Worst case scenario is that, if you got challenged, if you said yes, let's do this, the council said, yes, we're gonna take on this, let's see what happens. The worst case scenario is, you have to quit the program, close the program, you have to pay money back, those would be the ramifications of it, but this is not something that's tried and true. So there is some risk, and they said basically, if this is something you're gonna recommend to council has to decide whether or not they wanna take all those risks. Okay, so, okay, it's not a, hey, you're good to go, but it's not a, hey, I'm gonna flat out say no, it's one of those areas that have to weigh the risk portion of it.
Okay. And from what was submitted, it looks like I'm ballparking math here, but about 65% has been covered already, and you're asking about.
Yeah, so we've raised about, around $100,000 through private grants, donations, et cetera. Where the cost of the towers is $160,000, so we're trying to come up with the other $60,000. And that's why we're here, is for that other $60,000. I said the other $100,000 been done, through private donations and private grants, foundations. This has been a project that, we knew needed to be done when we took on the lifeguards. But then this last year, we've been really ramped up trying to replace it before next season. The goal is to actually replace with 2 towers. The one tower is way tall, which is really hard when we have the stronger winds. When the ball comes in, the tower's useless because it's too high. So by having 2 towers that are lower, they're gonna see the beach better. And then also it'll have roof, it's a built tower, it's what they use up and down the coast. This one's actually coming out of Florida. We looked at 2 different ones, one out of California, one out of Florida. They're looking at the one out of Florida, just, they like the way it's built better.
And it withstands weather.
Right, that's what they're built for. I mean, most of these are fixed. The South Carolina, Florida, and they go through the hurricanes, and still stand, and so that's what they're meant for. They're saying average is 20 to 30 years, out of them.
And have you thought about making them there?
Our tide comes up too high. We looked at it, but our sand moves way too much. The concern is that it's gonna get really ready to tip over. And so, it'll be the same thing. They'll stay on the beach. They'll never come off the beach, but they'll just move to a safer spot.
Right.
So I guess I kind of look at still, it's fixed. We're leaving them on the beach. They're just getting moved to a safer spot.
Right. Right.
So.
One of them is in front of Haystack Rock.
Yeah. So we only have one right now.
Yeah.
Just that one. So we're gonna move them. The 2 will sit, down by Tolwana and up by Gallup. They'll be, yeah.
That's what I was thinking, 12 on into the.
Yeah. Yeah, and then you can see both sides of the rock that way.
Are you gonna store them off season where you store?
Yes.
Now?
Yeah, they'll go back where they're restored today.
Both of them.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean.
I would make the argument, when you get out of the tower, that the lifeguard program is a tourism activity. When you talk to our lifeguards, it isn't anybody local are contacted. It is thousands of tourists, that just don't understand the waves, don't understand the ocean. they come here and they lose their brain, they're on vacation mode. I would make a Seaside move this year, and last year to start funding their lifeguards out of the tourism funds. From what I understand. So I would make the argument this is the lifeguards are a tourism activity. 100%.
Can I just add on the
Yeah.
seaside one, the seaside one has real property, they're right out of the lifeguard. A building which counts as real property, so they have a little easier go at it. Because that was used as an example when we were trying to get the lifeguards. Paid, you know, and that was when they said, well, the way they're running it out of the fire department, 100% out of the fire department, the fire department's real property, so you can kind of tie it back to both. And so there's less of a risk for seaside.
It's just not real property because it's moved.
Yes, it's not permanently affixed to the ground, is the concern.
Their tower isn't either.
No, they have a building though, they're running out of a fire station and they're building, and,
We are.
but you're not our building. So that's where he needs that because of how we
Got it.
fixed it, so.
I guess I kind of go back to. Permanent structure versus. Movable structure versus equipment. Because I know we did not do the investment. In the Davis chairs and whatnot, but I kind of look at like. For me, I go. Well, we talked about. Investing. In the Moby mats and the Davis, and those are things that are coming up and off of the beach.
Right, but you're not trying to say it's your property.
But why do we have to say it's real property?
No, that's 100% tourism, you're saying this is 100% tourism, this is how we're trying to do it, you're selling it as tourism. You can't sell this as real property because they don't think it meets the definition of real property, so you have to sell it as tourism.
Okay.
So that's, because everyone brings up the, as real property, well, if they go that route, there's gonna be a lot more pushback. If you go 100%, this is 100% tourism, our statistics show that we're serving tourists. If you don't, you just go that way instead of talking about real property.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, you gotta kind of ignore the real property.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we're okay.
Yeah.
You are better
Okay.
because it's one of those untried, but you have a less chance of getting pushback if you're saying this is 100% tourism. If you say this is real property, they're not. But you have multiple choices, real property and tourism.
So if, I think you said 95% of your shows are
Yeah.
tourism related. If it's 95% tourism and 5% residential.
Yeah.
You know, is that considered tourism?
Well, that's your selling point.
Yeah.
We are 95%, we are not restaurant local people, we are providing a certificate of tourism. And so that's your selling point to whoever's questioning us and the lines. So you have to have kind of like all your ducks in a row.
Right.
To say, this is why we wanna do it. So,
Gotcha.
Sorry, and then I'm gonna break this down real quick. Cause
How many calls do you have last year?
For
Lifeguards.
lifeguards. I would have to ask Koa. He did a presentation to council at the end of the season of how many people they contacted, and I don't have it, I didn't put it in there, I should have.
I thought you did it, and I asked you for statistics, you said it was in the report.
I put just a narrative, you just put a narrative in there about it, didn't put that number.
I'm just curious.
But thousands,
If
I mean,
it's
he's-
1,000 or 50.
but no, it's thousands. He broke it all down to the council. How many in each contact,
See, and
and I
that's,
can forward that.
and that's
in
what
the
we
packet, right?
Huh?
In the council packet.
It was in the council packet, yeah.
right, but it needs to be in this package.
Okay.
To show, because that's what we talked about, email, because that shows the exact tourism, how you are doing the work for tourist goals.
Yeah, I can forward that presentation he did, because it has it all broke down.
But if you look at council, that needs to be a part of the.
Right. Well,
That's how you sell it, yeah.
So it's basically a 37.5% ask. And I'm looking at it as 95% tourism related. I mean, I think that's a capability.
Total budget.
They're asking for 60,000 of 160,000 for the towers, they've already raised them.
Oh, okay.
But, and they're utilized 95%.
Yes, right. And this is what.
So I think that's a, case builder. Um,
Do you have any concerns about like vandalism or playing on them or?
No, I think we've had vandalism on the other one, but it's just wood and get rid of, these are aluminum with fiberglass. So I think they're gonna stand up a lot better to that, and these are also lockable, they're total, the nice thing, what I'm looking forward to, is we have a radio box, the lifeguards have to carry up into there and set up. But this would be locked, during the day, we can leave all the radios in there and leave the equipment in there, they're not carrying it out each day. So there's a lot of benefits for lifeguards too, with this, that we're not having to carry this equipment in and out of there, we can walk the door, you can stay there for the night,
You all be weather protected.
it's all weather protected, yeah.
And it's a little less dangerous than having people fly.
Yeah, climb up that big tower.
yeah,
Uh,
To vandalize.
Yeah.
And
How long do they think the tower will last?
so these are used up and down the ones we're looking at up and down the East Coast, they say 25 to 30 years.
yeah, I mean. That's cute, the yellow one. I don't know, thoughts, feelings, I mean,
All right, to me it makes. Yeah, it makes sense, with the tourism thing, 95%, I mean, I'm assuming that the lifeguard doesn't run out there and ask you, are you a tourist or a resident? Sorry.
Yeah, right.
So, yeah.
But I will
I
say,
think if we're gonna do it, I would stay away from the real property, because
Yeah.
that seems like a lot more controversial, and I would just put it as a tourism equipment. And pose it that way. So I would support you with it.
Even that though, it still has a lifetime of over 10 years, which was the other thing on that, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's okay from that standpoint, the question seems to be, does real property have to be stationary and has to fix?
I gotcha, okay.
There's less pushback if you go the other way.
Yeah, oh, for sure, I get it.
Yeah, it seems like it's right, it's.
Yeah. yeah,
What we should be funding. If the council is willing to, take that on. As far as if there's pushback.
for me, I think. As far as getting out of our narrow box, this one kind of checks. Dipping a toe out and seeing, how it goes, but yeah. I mean, and paves the path maybe for things down the road. Really great.
Well, that's to me, and we have 1,128,436 right now,
Yeah,
as of today.
When I'm also looking at it, I mean, we had budgeted 523,000 for half the board, so we only awarded 228, so.
yeah.
Certainly money there.
No,
I would just jump in with both feet.
yeah,
I think it's a no-brainer, and you can easily justify that the people being plucked out of the water are not local. And so to me, it meets all the criteria.
And it's a safety issue for.
Yeah.
well, it's.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll say, since we joined the lifeguard program, our rescues have dropped, we haven't done it, the lifeguards are doing what they're supposed to do. By changing the program, we had one rescue in 2024, that was done by the lifeguards. That would have 100% been a fatality without the lifeguards there. We didn't have any this year. And it's all goes back to prevention. It all goes back that they're out there catching them before they happen. Now, flip side of it, we still go to Indian Beach. We'll never end the Indian Beach because I don't have lock homes up there. I don't have, the same prevention up there. But that's outside the city limits, so that's not covered by any of this.
I have a question, maybe it's stupid. So if we say that this is, and obviously for lifeguard towers, but, if we say this is for tourism, then are we opening ourselves up for everything then? As opposed to saying property, like, oh, the roads are even more rigorous.
Garbage, the state's already decided, we're like, that's
Okay,
Yeah.
so,
If we're also doing that at the city level, we're looking at things to say, where else can we use these funds? And that's where it came up with the restroom maintenance and we trap, and push and we trap.
Okay.
So they're looking at all these other areas that they could be utilized. Because there's several streams of money coming in, not just your guys', so
yeah, making sure.
yeah.
Again, I'm saying, again, I would make the argument that the lifeguard program as a whole should be looked at, that a lot of it is, I think should be funded tourism wise. It is tourism. And I would be willing to have a conversation about that too. That, I mean, the city's already funding, but they're taking out general fund versus, if you're looking at tourism, like it is tourism.
So the 85% of the budget.
You're not what?
Everything is done.
Yeah.
But I agree. It's absolutely a service to visitors.
Do we take a vote then?
Yes, so what you're gonna want to do is you're gonna have to make a formal recommendation to council, so you would say something like. I move to recommend council funding $60,000, whatever the number is, for the lifeguard towers using the tourism purpose funds. Because that's what we have a line item for, and so all you're doing is recommending to council that they do this. And then council will take it and they will have to say, okay, you know, they have to weigh if they want to take on that experiment.
Okay.
Which, I mean, I do think that if you have those numbers in there,
Yep.
the analysis from the attorney could have came back a little bit more tight. Because you have like cut and dry, these are the numbers, instead of saying 95%, you can say, we did, you know, 3,700 rescues, all 3,700 of them were, you know.
Okay.
So I move to recommend, that we recommend to city council that we fund, is it 60,000 exactly?
Yeah, 60,000, that's what you're asking for.
60,000 of our tourism funds, what's the word she's using, tourism purposes funds, for the lifeguard card. Second.
Or-
Something else?
Okay.
Go ahead.
Give it-
Michelle, no, one of us, give Michelle. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Okay, we will take the recommendation to council and we think that'll be on. One.
I need to look and see, the January work session is pretty heavy right now, and for the holidays, the first meeting of the month, it's kind of like a tight turnaround, so let me look and see, and also I will check with Bruce if this is something he wants a work session with council first.
Okay.
I go straight to a vote, because it is something new, so they may want to have a little bit more time to get in a little bit more input from legal counsel, so let me see what he says, but I will shoot an email to the commission and to the fire department to let them know for sure what the plan is.
Okay,
And how much time do you guys need to?
Anytime. Oh, just build it?
Yeah.
I think they said it was gonna be 3 to 4 months. We're already moving forward with it, because we're gonna come up with money
So it'll be this,
one way or another.
it'll be this summer.
Yes.
So that's.
That's the goal is this summer.
And
The
what-
board has already approved it, and we're just going with it, that we're gonna come up with money one way or another.
Is there, what meeting was, can I go look for the packet of the, where the presentation?
I'll send it to, I'll just.
that'd be great.
Thank you.
I'll do it.
Fantastic. Yeah. Well, thank you for coming this morning and we will let you know on when it will be presented to council. Okay, thank you.
I just sent an email.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't have to read the email.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what you're to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering, what is this in reference to that, or
No,
is this
no.
something?
Sorry.
It was just informational.
Oh, okay, fine.
Yeah. Which I really, we're discussing,
3 million versus 300.
yeah. Greg's.
We're not Ben. We are not Ben. $3 million.
Discussing Greg's. Inclusion in the packet with the article on the Ben Bulletin.
Yeah, it was just they kind of reference how they're making the same, you know, is it tourism related, is it not? Does it better the community? And they're having the same discussion that.
Very timely and appropriate. Okay, so. We have that. Now, line item 4 is public policy. And, we're going, can't remember, we're moving it to the January meeting.
Yes,
Okay.
we are gonna talk about this in January. And Jody put a few little notes in there,
Yeah, so we can do a difference from the,
yeah, so actually it's pushed over to Jody. So actually started, Jody's the fashion.
you can find two of them that are different things, and now we have a whole set of comments.
No, because your last comments were from Jody also.
Oh.
So we've been dealing with Jody for a couple months now. And brand new, you know, you're always gonna be a little bit more, she wants to make sure she's thorough. I will say that Jody seems to be a little bit more willing to look at, you know, Ashley was a lot more in this box. Jody's like, hey,
Every turn we get, it's a little bit more. Tammy was, little, yeah, holy crap. Tammy was.
so I mean, her things, you know, just, she was questioning, you know, it's a city policy, it is. She had it city of Hannah Beach, she kind of changed it to a little bit more of a step-by-step process.
Okay.
Changed a few words.
And the red line, that's what we did on the last. We did that the last meeting? I'm trying to-
Yes, so
Okay.
the red line for mine changes from the last meeting. So the green one also is, you know, once you did it, come out green under it, just turn out too. Cause like we added all over required pursuant to this policy will be acquired in the name of the city. She had that. No, she moved that one. So we have that somewhere else and she moved it.
The green one.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I had a public announcement.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah,
I'm sorry. I have the floor.
I'm wondering where tourism in this community lays right now.
I need
Oh, name, sorry.
Oh, Joanne Kramer, I'm at P.O. Box 750, Cannon Beach, Oregon.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyhow, I'm curious if anything has been resolved, because I sat in on a meeting last year. And I'm wondering if anything has been resolved about like the parking in Cannon Beach.
This meeting,
You're talking about Clarity Place,
Yes.
Chamber, that was Chamber.
Oh, okay.
not.
That's not.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm at the wrong meeting. Sorry.
Well, thank you for coming.
No, but you should bring that up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, that is city funds,
yeah.
so. So the council will be discussing their CSD plan, their traffic system management plan and their retreats. And parking is one of the things they're talking about, so you kind of have a ongoing discussion, that's what is essentially about it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
so we're doing in January, right?
Retreat? No, it's Thursday. I just posted everything on Friday. They didn't invite CLT, they like gave us to talk about anything specific. They're looking at, they want, it's on the website. They have a very limited time and they wanted to have a discussion, and again, this is retreat, it's planning, it's not actual decisions, but they wanted to talk about the chamber contracts. Oh, yeah, see, that man had said.
No,
Well, was that, no, that one, yeah.
So there's an agenda, like timing.
yeah. Oh, not with, I don't think with time.
So I think, it starts on Thursday at 11 AM, and the first topic scheduled is TLT, so it's more of a broad conversation. But it's chamber contract, utilizing the tourism and arts commission for TLT receiving entities of oversight. So this is just hey, do they wanna run things, what do they think, because you know, this is a topic that comes up all the time. Now I know what you think that. So. But I was trying to figure out what this could be.
No.
Event today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well.
Our batteries.
You sure?
It was to survive.
That's good, now they're not in some way.
Oh, bottle battery. Oh, you'll be, probably be worth it all. I got this one now. Okay. That is just okay.
Okay, now.
Yeah.
Extended warranty.
Oh, wait. I got, I need this.
So totally behind that, a different side.
No bodily harm.
11 a.m.
Alright, so what there's. Yeah, Jen is on my trash
Yeah.
and caused a heart attack. Right? So what they're talking about is not what they want to necessarily do, the concept is retreat. So they need to kind of put into place, what kind of things we want to talk about in the upcoming year? Do you want to talk about this? How would it look? Not how it would look, but what kind of things do you want to talk about? To have, do you want to run with review? What do you want to do? A lot of times people talk about having the chamber maybe report to TAP. You know, they've had that conversation before, so this is kind of like, they need to say, these are the things we want to look at this year, and then we can schedule it. So that's really. They have lots of items and a short amount of time to get through.
Oh, so they're starting off with the chamber contract.
Oh, boy, yeah.
Is that, is retreat public? I mean.
Yeah.
Go.
Yeah, anyone can go to it, it's Thursday and Friday, Thursday's 11 to 5, Friday is 11 to 1.
Here?
Here. Yep, I posted the agenda on Friday, and so it gives it, council went through and kind of, their retreat topic list was huge, they had to like pull out some items and kind of focus in a little bit. So they want to talk about, like I said, the timber contract, that was something that they've been discussing in work sessions, but then it, got pushed off, and they said, let's talk about it, Angel, let's talk about it in the fall, and you know, fall got busy, so they said, let's just talk about it in retreat. And because that chamber topic always brings up the TLT, they said, well, let's also talk about, you know, do we want to utilize the Tourism Farms Commission? Because there's definitely a couple different ways of looking at it, do they have people report to you and then you report to staff? Is it, or, you know, so they need to discuss how they want to, what they want to talk about later in the year. How do we want to do this? Do we want to do this? Do we not want to do this?
Okay.
And then they will actually have a work session item where they would talk about how they want to do it, invite you guys, talk about what you guys want to see as part of it, and be more in-depth conversations.
So there's no public comment, it's just you're sitting and listening.
Is at the beginning of the retreat.
If we can come.
Oh, you can come, it's open to anybody, I
Yeah.
just think we didn't formally invite.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
But there's also public comment at the beginning.
Yeah.
And there is given, it's a normal meeting.
Okay,
Yeah.
I got
But
it.
it's not a decision meeting.
I understand.
Yeah, and that's what we're trying to, we're trying to plan this next year with these topics.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Thank
And
you.
that's viewable.
Yeah.
Via the Zoom.
yeah, so Zoom, YouTube, you can be here, it's totally open to the public, but we need to make it more about how we're planning for this year.
Yeah.
So it's easy to get stuck in, but because of limited time, we're hoping we can really kind of have a layout of what we want to do this upcoming year.
Okay, okay. Okay, so that's Thursday and Friday, both. You said starting at 11.
They both start at 11, but Thursday stops at 5 and Friday stops at 1.
Yes.
And so they have two different agenda lists. There's
Okay.
one for Thursday, one for Friday.
Okay,
Lot of information in the packet about how.
great, oh boy, thank you. Okay. So then. Can you remind me the date that the public art policy will, the council meeting in January?
I believe that's the work session, let me pull
No, work session.
governing. So it is scheduled for January 13th.
Okay, thank you.
So that's an evening meeting.
At 6 P.M. Here. Thank you.
Okay. Um,
So if I read through this, and all, looks fine to me, yeah, I'm not quite clear. It looks like she took out the opportunity for people to come and give an oral submission. The oral submissions have to be in writing.
She said, she thought it was in writing, but she said.
Since it has to be in writing, but I thought that it was not our intention that it has to be. in
It was
writing.
not our intention to write it, it was our intention not to do it online, like in a public forum, but yeah, so we want to change that one.
Yeah, because that was one of the opportunities for somebody to come in here and say, hey.
Yeah, so I think public comment can be submitted in writing to TAC, either by the, or by in person, oh no, it still says in person during the TAC meeting.
Yeah, but then she, if you look over, I think it's on the next page, there's a little, her comment box there.
Right, because.
So since it has to be in writing, that's the way she, I took out the online comment option.
Right,
The-
so now it says public comment can be submitted to TAC either via email or in person and during a TAC meeting. So she just took out the online from that top portion, but she left the in person in the second portion. It took me a second too on that one.
And then is she taking out the maintenance thing?
Well, it looks like she added in a maintenance thing.
At the very end.
Yeah. So this is a good thing that she did bring it up, because as we talked about before, our public art, there's no, I don't have a list. I don't know who prepared most of the stuff, so I think what she was looking at is kind of who's gonna be responsible for this in the future. And it's not a bad idea, I don't know that it needs to, cause like she said, this might not be the best place to put it, but it might be good just to let council know that you guys plan on maintaining a list and will kind of be the overseers of the public art once required, but then what happens when there's public art acquired from outside of you guys? So maybe that's not. Cause then you keep your list, you know,
City keeps others.
yeah,
Public work.
and that's what she, well,
Of course, but do they?
I don't
it's
know.
not.
There's no.
Not right now, but maybe there should be.
Well, that's what she's saying, because she said, you know, she wanted to make sure that the city has something in place for tracking, documenting all pieces of art. So, I mean, if that's something you guys want to do, we can always say whenever there's a new piece of art submitted to you guys, or she's just basically saying, we need to do this, but she's true, we need to do it. We do have the art walk page on the website, that's the most listen seen.
It's not complete, but.
And does that one include?
No,
that was honor?
That was the one that was done at the time that was created.
Does that include the piece at Tolovana at the wayside?
At the
The
wayside?
Lillian Pit piece?
No, I don't think so, because this is what they did, is they did a public art walk page on our website, so it's just saying, hey, come check out these pieces. It's not all artwork,
Oh, okay.
but it has a little write-up of me on our website, that's like the only thing that's not related that we can find.
Because the Lillian Pit piece is, we have no idea who owns it.
Yeah.
I talked to Tina Sings about it, and she said, I have no idea, we just came up with the money that, and Public Works put it in there, and the
Yeah.
state said, okay.
I think I found the whole documentation on the Lupe at one point in time, so it's in a folder somewhere for it to be dealt with in the future.
Yeah.
So who keeps track of other city property?
Well, I mean, I have a list, I mean,
Somebody must keep track of
Vehicles.
yeah, well, obviously things like vehicles, but even, you know, I was looking at bike racks earlier this year, so I assume somebody knows how many bike racks the city owns.
Right, I
Or
don't,
there are, that sort of thing. But
there's not a formal list. I'm pretty sure there's not a list of bike racks, but the guys in public works all know. So anything that's city-owned property or vehicles, there's asset lists. So we have assets that is over a certain dollar amount.
Maintains those assets.
The finance department maintains an asset list because of insurance reasons.
So should the finance department be responsible for this? I mean, we might be responsible for providing the information, but should they be responsible? Be sort of the repository for this information that should let's do.
I think it fits into the reason why they keep those lists in the first place, because they're assets that need to be depreciated or turned into insurance. So if artwork falls under that category, then now.
I would like to think there are.
I was sure,
I don't know the answer, that's what I'm saying. I just know that they have asset lists for a lot of things, the properties, the buildings, things like that, but I don't know that it goes down to things like fireworks, you know. There's-
No, I was saying that as an example with the art, you know, and the art has a value, pretty significant value in some cases. And it seems that that should be insured, which means they would need this information, the insurance.
So let that, when we're done, let me email him and just say, what Mark Long on the asset list that you maintain.
Yeah,
Because if it does, then we can say this is something that list of art would be maintained by him. But then I don't know that his list would be an asset list. It's not gonna go into descriptions of it and all the other parts that we would wanna have available to work within other entities, other items, but it would be a list.
but if they insure, it would be that. The insurance company will want it.
Well, they're gonna have a value. His list is in a computer with a value.
Yeah,
So I don't think it's like a description in it, but so we have to work with him and see.
yeah, but I know because I didn't back out our insurance, that the insurance company, they want a description.
Right.
Usually a photograph and a description and phrase value. And so basically, it's information that's on here, but the insurance. company, so, Making.
But-
Sort of, I'm sure.
But for maintenance, that might not be the best place, I mean.
Well, it just seems to me that, this is a bigger issue than what we're charged to deal with. I mean, if we keep track of the art and somebody else keeps track of the playground equipment and somebody else keeps track of whatever, you know, I mean, it just seems like these things are scattered all over the place. There ought to be a central repository for all this. It sounds like there is.
Right, okay, so that's a perfect example. So if they are green like that, let's just do cars. Tim can provide me a list of every car that we have, the year that it was purchased, you know, what the year is. It's up to each department on how they maintain, structure, replace, pay for equipment. It's up to the department to determine what needs to be replaced. If you ever want a list of 10, then you get a list of 10. But 10 is a keeper of a list, but not moving past that detail. At the end of the year, beginning of the year, at some point in time, we send the asset list to the department heads. They review it, hey, is everything still the same, is this changed, you know? So I think it is a joint venture between who does the maintenance of it and who has the list. So it's a kind of a work you got.
That's kind of what I was thinking, is, you know, well. He may have the list of assets, but he's not the one saying, okay, you need to maintain this, or you need to, you know, make sure this is taken care
So I think this would be a two-part thing, so why don't double check with Shan that we would need an asset list for maintenance, what information would we need, and he may be a keeper of a list, but all of the rest of the things would have to come to somebody else.
Public Works would have such a list as well, with regard to maintenance.
Well, right now, it's not really, I mean, public works is your default to everything. So,
But they're the ones that alerted us to the sculpture disintegrating.
right, because, yeah, so there's. Yeah, they kind of see and hear a lot of stuff, but I think on this one, if we're gonna have the art program, I think she was mainly saying like, are we gonna have a person who. You know, that's more of their thing. And maybe this is a joint conversation, or maybe this is something that doesn't, I mean, because she said this might not be the best place for this section.
Yeah, and I'm fine saying that TAP is responsible for providing this information to wherever the keeper. The station. I don't know if we should be the keeper of the list.
Yeah, that's a.
Yeah, I just am trying to think of, I mean. In the past. I don't know, I mean, that's where I go back to one, we don't necessarily know what we all have, and. When they did the public art purchasing before, it didn't come through us.
But there wasn't an attack at the
There
time.
was an attack at the time when those all were done.
Well, there was a public art committee.
Yes, it that all went through that, and
Yeah, but even at that, I didn't find a cohesive list.
yeah,
So. Why don't we leave it at this, why don't you back to Tim and ask him what he needs to have a list. Because like I said, as far as I'm concerned, you know, if we're responsible for providing that information, that's okay. Yeah, the thing with art too, we should probably have formal appraisal.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that, you know, we pay X, say, for those Steve Jensen pieces, but, you know, as his career evolves and so forth, usually the value of the art evolves with it, so, you know, if we pay $100,000 for that stuff, it might be worth 150, 175 right now, so we don't want to insure it for 100,
Right.
so.
I'm like, even the Santa Maria, is that the city, or is that Breakers? Does anyone know?
Oh.
We're just gonna be,
See, that's just it, well,
we talked about it. Remember you-
That's what I was thinking, I don't think we ever figured that out.
I came across some stuff on Lillian and on that one when you were moving, and I have to go and find. I found some email correspondence back and forth, I'm not sure what it is quickly, but that was one of the stuff that we talked about before.
Yeah,
And so I have a folder somewhere that had the email string about Lillian Pit and then some stuff I found when I was doing some bridges. There's a lot of things. That, I mean, this is something, this is the biggest, we have a list and then, you know, the oversights.
yeah,
And maybe this is something to talk to, maybe in addition to, how about this, in addition to emailing Tim, I email Public Works and just say, what is your feelings on this? Because we can't just assign it to Public Works, or whatever, it's got
Yeah.
that. So maybe we can have a discussion with Public Works. Such as the maintenance conditions.
Well, and it may be something that, you know, Public Works is there around, you know, checking on other things, check on your work and bring it back to us and say, you know, this, our work needs maintenance, and then we figure out how to maintain it, you know, what needs to be done.
But it sounds like that's not what Tom wanted to do. Cause then now you guys are responsible for
Well,
it, is that?
but weren't we responsible for the fishermen? Didn't we find somebody to pass that wrongs or?
Public Works did that,
Oh, they
the
did.
states came to us and asked that our funding.
Oh,
And it could be a joint venture, because you guys are gonna be a logical place to come for funding, because you're the Tourism and Arts Commission,
Right.
but you're gonna get a lot of that stuff, but as far as the rest of it. Where those lines are.
Right.
So I guess the question is, do you wanna be involved more than money? I mean,
I mean, like, I wouldn't even know where to begin, you know, so that's the biggest issue is, you know. If somebody came to me and said, we need to do something with this bench out here, I'd be like, hey, what do you? Who do I call? What are you gonna do? Like,
It wouldn't be like that,
Yeah.
though. I mean, it's like, you guys aren't gonna have that sole responsibility, but she's saying, you know, we need to have. Someone be responsible for this,
yeah.
and
I
so,
mean, I like kind of the way you worked with the Steve Jensen piece. You know, where the public works identified the issue. They did the work of the research to find the solution, and they just came to us to help with funding.
right,
I think that's,
So
that makes.
how did you get the Ventry out for it? How did that even happen?
public works.
Right, so,
And so in that one, they noticed that there was an issue, but they're not the ones solely, they noticed these things, so they're out. with them.
Yeah.
Right.
And so on that one, we used so there is, every year there's a public arts under community programs.
right,
And so we use the public art funds for that to get it, power coded.
Yeah.
So I mean, they fix things, they see things, but it's back to who's the owner of the list and the responsible party.
Yeah.
Could we say procurement and funding? Is the arm that we would like? On the public, or,
Our group, we
Yeah.
do
procurement and funding
procurement and funding.
and that would be also funding of the main.
of the maintenance as well, yeah.
So we can add that and then just say the city shall manage the following information for each piece. And then just put it back on the city and.
Jennifer says, and realizing it's probably her.
Sorry.
Basically what it is she's just saying, you need a formal list, and so if we say the city is responsible for this. What's gonna happen is someone's gonna see it, it's gonna be public works, don't even let me know, I'll need to update the list, they're gonna come for you money. So you're still gonna maintain an arm in it. But, so we'll say, let's, yeah, this just has to be reworded, so we'll just have something like, the tourism art commission. Are the procurement and fund, it won't say that, are the procurement, but basically tourism art commission will be responsible for the procurement and the funding. The city shall be responsible for documenting blah, 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 blah.
Okay, so I'm gonna take a little bit of an issue with funding part. Because I don't,
So,
I don't actually solely responsible.
yeah,
Potentially,
potential.
perfect.
Yeah, because I want to be able to do like we did, like I said, for the Steve Jensen piece.
Yeah.
We shared it.
Yeah,
Right, well, and you can't, cause you guys remember, you're making a recommendation to council, so you can say, hey, so-and-so came with this, I want to recommend us paying. $150,000, but we like either the general fund or they get other, because it's whatever we want to make your recommendation to council, so you don't have, you never have to own it. So we need to see that.
anything else in there?
I'm still gonna double check with Tim just to make sure,
Okay.
I know, because a lot of stuff starts with Tim, he gives you the list anywhere from that list.
Okay,
Well, and it'd be nice as the town to get that list once a year or something, just to, verify everything's on it, that we know of, and, it'd be nice to have a full list of everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we need to have that updated on the website, yeah.
Right.
The more things we put, so here's another, when you tie into tourism, so our work isn't necessarily a tourism purpose item, it's ours. But for, like the fisherman's dance one, we told the attorney, hey, on our website, we have a art walk. Or, and it's also on the chamber, and the chamber website advertises this as an art walk, so it's advertising it for tourism to come see these pieces. So the more you tie it into tourism, the more chances you have of getting to spend TLT funds
Right.
as opposed to general funds. So integrating as much as possible.
Yes.
And then once we have more of a cohesive list of descriptions, we can put that on the website, you can do other items.
Right.
okay.
And also maybe put in insurance. Too.
Yeah, I have that on there, I have the insurance, the appraisal, what information you need,
Yeah.
Okay.
and then I have this looking.
Do we feel like we're in a good spot then on?
We need to, this policy, the way that it's been reworked. We're assuming this is okay, do we take a vote that we recommend this to the
Yeah, it would be a great idea to have a vote that we haven't recommended, that you recommend presenting the public art policy as revised, as amended today to the council for consideration. So if we at the council level, we're gonna talk about it in the work session, you're gonna say, this is that. They will say, yeah, that's a great idea, and we'll come back and they'll adopt it for the resolution process. And so that's formally adopting it, it's in record, we have it, or we'll say it'll make complete. But then, so that would be the process that goes.
Well, I'll make a motion that we recommend this policy as it has been amended as of today's date, for the city council for apartments,
Let's say review and adoption.
for review and adoption.
I'll second. Everybody wants to second. Everybody's all excited about it.
To vote, those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Great. We'll move to it. In today's modifications.
But if that's not on the next agenda, what are we talking?
For the order.
Well, it seems like public art policy has been on the agenda.
Exactly, sorry.
You know.
So I think our next meeting, we're gonna have to hit the, path grants, make sure everyone's good with how it is, because we moved all the agents up. And I gotta have my back there for that.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So we'll still have things to talk about.
I have one good of the order. An apology because, yes, our public meeting flyer wasn't in the post office. I was just looking for the Goonies one. And it was the other one.
So I got it today.
I was like, yeah, oh, yeah. But when you're looking for.
Yeah, right.
That was the one that was on my brain.
Okay, yeah, in January, we're gonna review the forms, the timeline, application, evaluation criteria, so we're gonna get everything ready to go, so we can finalize it at the February meeting. Because we are actually going to be opening it up for March, because we moved everything ahead,
Yeah.
so we'll be hitting tap on
Okay. Great. I'm gonna put out there, you thinking, or do you have any ideas or new applicants? Still have one opening. Yes. One more.
So, yeah, Thursday. That's also on the council retreat to discuss, just because we have a lot of applicants, or we have a lot of openings, so just kind of to talk to them about it. Years and years and years ago, we actually, not long after I started here, they had to reduce the number of public works committee positions. Because your quorum is based on how many positions are there, not how many are signed up for it. Is in order for them to have a quorum, we had to bump them down to 5. So they need to look at things, review, see how many openings there are, and then just in more, just letting them know. You know, what's going on, and hopefully with that discussion, maybe they'll bring it back up with those times, like, oh, hey, we can do this.
Okay.
You guys are a fun committee, because we, you guys pay people money. What are you talking about, hard, you people money,
Yeah,
why would you have money?
yeah, exactly, exactly. Okay, anything else for good of the order? Okay, we shall adjourn.